Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Plastic Depth Podcast with your host, Frame 5 Studios. Yes, it's been a couple weeks, 2 months or so. I'd like to do these as I have time, and I honestly like not having a crazy schedule for this because I just get to feel like I can enjoy this more, sit back and talk to you guys about one of my favorite brick films every single time, we talk about stuff and just dive in. And it was going to be a different episode. I want to have Silly Penta on here soon to talk about some things just for fun, but I figured it's a nice day. I just had my coffee. Why not talk about brick films for a little bit on this long weekend? So, at least it's a long weekend right now. I don't know what it's going to be like when you guys see this. But without further ado, guys, we are basically rolling into September here. The summer contest, or basically the fall contest with how late these get announced these days. But a few weeks after the Brawl results, so that was fun. Yeah. Let's go. I know this seems a little convoluted. I'm in a super chill mood, and this is when I want to record these podcasts. But we are going to be looking at The Profession. That's right. I've been talking about this. I think I bring this up every year, unironically, in real life. Not just in relation to brick films, just one of my favorite films overall. And The Profession is by Mind Game Studios, or at the time, the studio or the YouTube channel was Zach MG. Shout out to you, Zach. I have been basically subscribed to you since I was a preteen. That's basically how long it's been. That's how long I've been watching you, and I think it's been, truthfully, one of the greatest. Not to sound dramatic here, but it's truly been one of the greatest, honors and achievement to have, you voice in some projects, and just to have a friendly relationship with you outside of just working on films and being a part of the Bricks in Motion community. So shout out to you, man. Hope you're doing well, and I can't wait to talk about this. So The Profession came out January 1st, 2011. So we are 14 years old, and I remember basically thinking this is a groundbreaking film. I don't want to call it a noir. It's basically that, but we talk about depth on this channel, right? We talk about depth in brick films, and while this might not be one of the more deeper films, I think it showcases a real talent for minimalism and just beautiful, subtle animation. And rewatching this again, even as I sit here and talk about this, there's a lot I want to talk about. So I think something that was more popularized here was these still shots of transitioning focus. Like, you're looking at something in the foreground, and then it slowly goes to the background, but it looks so good. It looks, even 14 years old, it definitely was, I don't want to say ahead of its time, but it was better than anything that we have seen, at least back in 2011, in my opinion. Like, the way he put the sun kind of going across the water cooler is honestly a subtle thing that I don't think a lot of people picked up on, at least not from the comment section anyway. And the way he did the lighting in the windows, I think was really neat. I think it's like a flashlight at the bottom there. At least that's kind of what I thought. But I think the best thing about The Profession is the animation and the minimalism. So what do I mean by the minimalism here? So I think I talked about this in episode 2, but you can tell in these older films that they use so much less Lego, but somehow the sets seem just as detailed, if not more detailed, than what we have, in modern brick filming times or current day, where you just see these big, elaborate, detailed sets But in a film like The Profession, you just have a base plate. He built some walls and didn't really add a lot of texture to anything around the set. And I think that's partially because of how the film is shot. You don't have a ton of landscape type shots. It's all almost completely portrait based. So you don't have to really do a whole lot with the background, because if you did and it was, let's say, all landscape, okay, sure, it might look a little bare. But I think what a lot of brick films in today's landscape kind of miss out on is that lack of portrait shot. But even I see portrait films, right, and you can just tell that there wasn't a lot put into it, because maybe it was just a dialogue scene and they didn't care. But The Profession just, it really makes use of what isn't there. And I don't know if I think it's a mixture of a couple things. One, the story, the writing, the way the lines were delivered, the music. You aren't really paying attention to subtle things in the background, so I guess that's where it works out the best, I think. But I don't know. I wish we could go, not we could go back, because I know there are some people who do this, and in my own films, admittedly, I would have to say, if I had to pick like 3 people that I kind of base, or that I've gotten my style of brick filming from, it is definitely number 1, Zach Misius. 2 would probably be Nick Duran, and then I would probably follow that up with, probably Twick-a-Brick, maybe tied third, like maybe Bionicle 28, or now Something's Arrived Productions. If you've seen any of their work over the years, like, those are the 3 people that I really took inspiration from growing up, and that's kind of how my style of filmmaking was done. But anyway, back to The Profession. Something I want to call out here: the subtlety of animation, especially, this is kind of where I also got obsessed with walk cycles too. Zach has always done a really great job of character movement. Like, I don't think you find as good character movement. You might have to go to like Nathan Wells or something to find something on the same level, but this is so good. It's so real. And I think that is what sets Zach's films apart from most other people in the brick film community. He did a phenomenal job of making characters feel real and not like this is a brick film, right? And, Nick Duran, to his credit, did something a little bit like that, but I think Zach did it better overall. And I just, the scene where the henchman is walking down the hall and the main character is, running up behind him, shoots him, and catches him before he hits the ground. I wish that type of animation, that subtlety and the nuance was just industry standard now. I get it. It really comes down to how much time and how long Zach has been doing this. He's only gotten better as, the film's progressed, but I think he has one of the better walk cycles in the entire community, and I think his ability to just do phenomenal camera work too. I wish I could get this good. And to be honest, side tangent here, okay? All my camera panning is all done in camera. Like, I don't have a slider or a rig. That's all done with me frame by frame, pulling the camera along. I need to get one, and I want to get one for next year. I want to, like, next Stack and next Brawl, if I have the opportunity to participate, I want to get one of those so I can just have better movement in my shots so they don't look as janky. And I'm not sure what he used in The Profession, but the fight scene between the main character and the executive, I'm like, some of this has to be on some type of rigging, and I don't think I don't think a lot of it is done in post. Maybe I'm wrong. So Zach, if you watch this or listen to this, I would love to get some BTS 14 years later on what it was like working on The Profession. But the fight scene in this reminded me a lot of Keshin 8 and Forest Fire, actually. Those are the two people that got fight scenes really well done throughout, the last 20 years. And this reminded me of that as I go back and watch it. Oh, I was messing around with something and I fell out of my hand. But, yeah, I'm kind of tired of fights in brick films today. I feel like there's just so many of them. But this one's choreographed so well. It's so nice. And this goes back to what I was talking about with the subtlety. I think the fight scene would not have looked as good without the subtle animation. The ease in and ease out is perfect here. No surprise with Zach's work. But this is a film that I think everyone could go back and just continue to learn from. I am learning from it as I, again, watch it for probably the 100th time since its release. I'm giving you all the lore here. I did a school project. I think this was freshman year of high school. No, it wasn't freshman year. It might have been sophomore year because The Profession was already out. And I was like, okay, I like The Profession. I just don't want to copy it, but I want to do a similar feel. So I based it roughly off of this, and it obviously didn't come out nearly as well as The Profession, but I was semi-proud of it. Took a lot of inspiration from this, and yeah, there's some more Frame 5 lore for you, I guess. But the other thing that I want to talk about, because I briefly mentioned it in the beginning, the minimalism of set, okay? At the end of the film, the main character is driving up to, I guess, a photo shoot with his girlfriend or whatever, and you can clearly tell that the background is just the modular buildings. And normally you'd think, okay, who cares? Like, why is that a huge deal? I think it still speaks to minimalism a little bit. Like, I'm sure maybe it was a little more than this, but I'm sure he just said, okay, I gotta put these in front because I gotta make the shot look good, and it has to look like they're out on the town. And obviously modular buildings are super expensive, so it probably isn't minimalist from that regard. But I think I said this again last episode, but some of these sets, like, they're not crazy. They're not done with intense detail. And I see so many sets go super in depth, even in my own films. Remember Her was pretty detailed, and I definitely felt like I needed to do that. But just with this, like, there's just not a lot going on, but there's so much going on. And I don't know how to explain it in a way that makes any sense outside of maybe this is just nostalgia and I'm continuing to fanboy over a 14-year-old brick film, but I struggle to find a better use of minimal creative set design and animation like this. I don't think it's around, but I love every part of this film, and I'm so glad that Zach continues to make brick films and make animation, and I can only hope I have as good an animation as him at some point. I feel like I got really, really close like 5 or 6 years ago before I took a 5-year break, and now I'm still knocking off the rust. That's pretty clear in the last 2 films that I've done for Thack and Brawl. But that's pretty much The Profession in a nutshell. I really like this film, and I hope you guys have time to go back and watch it, but let me know what you guys think, and I would love to get your thoughts on it in the comments. And again, Zach, if you're listening or watching, thanks for making this film. It really was a huge inspiration for me growing up, and even now, just so good, so crisp. Actually, okay, Zach, consider this like a formal like ask, and guys, if you agree, like in the comments, just put remake in the bottom. Can we get a remastered version of this? Like, can we get shot for shot recreation almost, but have a remaster? I think that would be really cool. I would love to see like a side by side of that. I think that would be really cool, because I think the only thing that obviously didn't age well is just the quality, like the camera quality. Like it's a lot grainier. It's a little harder to see, but an updated profession video would be so cool. Like the same type of set, same everything. Like don't change that. I would just love to see how it looks in 2025. I think that'd be really cool. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today for a little bit of your time. I appreciate it a lot. We'll see you back here, I don't know, whenever I have time for the next episode. Hopefully I can have some guests with me at some point, but those will be longer episodes. I don't want to make these super long, because, you know, I'm just riffing, right? I didn't really plan a lot of this. I just wanted to talk about brickfilm, so that's kind of how I like to do things. But oh, okay, hang on. I was about to end it. Never mind. I'm watching the fight scene again real quick. The table animation is crazy, guys. The table animation is crazy. So good. I need to get better at that. My next test is gonna be like me trying to like animate someone getting thrown on a table and just watching like that subtle movement of the table. Tablegate 2025, it's here. Anyway, I'm done, guys. Thanks again for watching and listening. I appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. Later.